silence your phone. I'll ask all commissioners to please turn your mics on. And if and when you do come to the podium, let me ask you to adjust the microphone, and you don't have to climb up inside of it. But if you get up close to it, speak, everybody can hear you much better. We've had some problems with that, especially on the audio video that we have lately. We'll have a little bit more of a meeting tonight. After we adjourn with the committee meetings, then we will come back. We'll take about a 5-minute adjournment, then we will come back, and I think it's the sheriff will present his budget to us. And then Saturday at 9 o'clock right here, we'll be here all day with our budget meetings. We'll be here at least 6 or 7 hours. So you're free to join us and go through that process. So without further ado, I shall call on Justice Center Public Safety Committee Chairman, Mr. Tim Horner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll call the Justice Center Public Safety Committee to order. Anyone wishing to address may do so at this time. You'll have 3 minutes.
Wendanoe, Joe Stevens Road. I noticed in the checks, there was a check to the jail contract attorney. I would like to know if we have any update on the resolution of the questions regarding the amounts and perhaps overcharges on the change orders for the jail.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Old business, we have none. New business, the Justice Center project update. Mayor Cutshaw.
Yes, there are no updates as far as the construction. We have been in contact with our contract attorney, waiting on final word on that. There's some negotiations that we feel like will take place very soon with our architects and our general contractor. We hope to have that full report before you in June.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any questions? Seeing none. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much there, Chairman Horner. We'll now move to the Finance Committee, and I will call on Chairman Rodney Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Call the Finance Committee to order. Is any visitors wishing to address this committee at this time on agenda items only? Seeing none, you have your recurring business there with your expenditure reports, your monthly checks that you need to look over. 4, old business, there is none. 5, new business. We'll start with 5A. That's Resolution 26A, a resolution, the Hamblen County Commission of Hamblen County, Tennessee, approving an economical impact plan for the Merchants Green Crossing development. I think Jay Money Honey Bass from Burry and Sims. I'll get that. Maybe that's right.
That's right. Thank you. My name's Jay Moneyhun. I'm an attorney with Bass, Berry & Sims. We serve as counsel to the Industrial Development Board and also serve as bond counsel to Hamblen County and the city of Morristown. Have here with me today Marshall Ramsey with the Industrial Development Board and James Crane, board member, and then Frank McGuffin, who's the developer of this potential project. This is an economic impact plan, which is the legal document that will authorize a tax increment financing for this proposed development. It's a large retail development in the Merchants Green area that will result in a substantial increase in property taxes and sales taxes that will benefit the city and the county, and will also result in a number of infrastructure improvements, which is the part of the tax increment financing that is requested to be paid from with the incremental tax revenues. Just where we are in terms of the process, the applicant submitted an application for the tax increment financing that listed all the parameters of the project, the infrastructure improvements that they would be developing and putting in connection with this project. The Industrial Development Board, in accordance with its TIF policies and procedures, reviewed that, initially approved that, and then authorized us to draft the economic impact plan that would authorize the TIF. The Industrial Development Board then held a public hearing and an IDB meeting after publishing notice 14 days in the newspaper, which is required under state law. We held that hearing and then also did not have any public comment objecting to the TIF at that meeting. The Industrial Development Board approved the plan and approved submitting it to City Council and County Commission for approval, which is the next step in the process. Happy to go over any questions you might have about the TIF process or the plan, and certainly the other folks here, happy to answer questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
Do you have any specific stores in mind that you can divulge? That means yes, but you're leery to.
I'll let Mr. McGuffin address
All
that.
right, we'll take Mr. McGuffin.
Good afternoon. Frank McGuffin, 516 Windridge Road, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we are bound to not mention any names, but these are tenants that are not located in Hamblen County right now, and I think they're going to be a major asset to our community.
Thank you for your evasiveness. But I understand. I was fishing.
Anyone else? Ms. Howe?
Okay, thank you. About the boundaries, that's it?
Yes, ma'am. And then there's also a list of the tax parcel ID numbers that on the page before that in the plan. And these are all parcels that either the project is located on or surrounding parcels that will benefit from the infrastructure improvements that are being put in for this development.
Okay. There's some homes in there, I guess y'all looked at that, yeah,
Correct.
okay. And does your development mean that maybe those homes won't be there in the future?
No, ma'am. It would not affect the homeowners at all. It would not affect the amount of property taxes that they pay at all. It wouldn't. No, ma'am. It would not affect
Okay,
the homeowners at all.
all right, thank you.
Where exactly is it going? Can you say that?
Where the planned area is?
Yes.
So it's essentially on the south side of the railroad.
Uh-huh.
Of course, John Bell's property goes to the south to Veterans Parkway, and then we'll turn right and head west. And it pretty much stops at Mrs. Howe's property, I think, is as far west as we go.
Does that get on both sides of Merchants Green?
Yes, sir, it does.
Both sides. Any other questions?
No, sir, thank you, thank you.
Anyone else? If not, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Ms. Ahern. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Harville. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank
all.
you.
Move to 5B. It's agreement between Hamblen County Tennessee and Marshtown Hamblen Humane Society. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, this agreement is now due. This is basically the same exact agreement that we have used before with the Marshtown Hamblen Animal Shelter. It's renewed this year, actually goes in effect July 1, and will last for 1 year, and then with an option of continuing for 1 year. Any questions?
Question.
Yes, sir.
That's, this, animal control, I think the counties and city together is giving $300,000 to the animal control.
You're talking about animal control. I don't have that budget right in front of me as far as the number. This is the animal shelter, not animal control.
Animal shelter.
Yes, sir. This is for the animal shelter.
It's where you take you, that's where you call in if you got a dog on the loose and they come and pick it up, right?
No, sir, that is animal control. What you're speaking of is animal control. The animal shelter is where they take the animal to house.
Isn't it all one deal?
No, sir, it is not. No, sir, it is not. Animal
Control that picks the dogs up, it's separate from the
Yes,
shelter.
sir, that is correct.
How much, you know how much money we give each
I don't
one?
have that. I was not prepared with that figure tonight. No, sir, I do not. We'll be going through that budget very shortly, on Saturday.
Yeah, I know that.
You got a budget book, I could look it up. 300,000. Finance director just told me it is 300,000.
300,000 for the animal control and
No,
animal
sir.
shelter together?
No, sir, animal shelter is 300,000.
Okay. Don't know what animal control is.
1 second.
Mr. Mayor, while you're doing that, now, is that to match, did they match what we had gave them?
You're talking about the city? Yes, we're in this together. That is an equal match. Yes, sir.
Is that what it was last year?
Yes, sir. The total animal control budget is 400. Animal control budget is 459,000.
I know there was a time,
59 for animal.
Oh,
control.
okay. Excuse me. That budget does include the 300,000 that goes to the animal shelter.
I thought you said they were separate.
They are separate, ma'am, but in the budget, they're under the same line. They're under the same heading. Mr. Neesmith brought out the point that they're the same. They are not the same. They're two different entities. But the budget line item is under the same heading.
One more question, is that a good business practice?
Ma'am, I don't know to answer that. We've done this for years. Yes, ma'am. Animal control falls under a different heading, a different line, actually, than the Marshtown Hamblen Humane Society.
Thank you, sir.
They're separate. You can't call the Humane Society to get an animal picked up.
When we had the animal control, animal shelter, when it was down at the city garage down next to the boys club, it was all together. The animal control and animal shelters all together. The people picking the dogs up work for the shelter. We had two guys down there. One of them is a code enforcer for the city now, Jose. So you've combined those two. So you're saying you're paying $159 to pick dogs and cats up.
159,000, yes, sir.
What a job.
Well, that's not just salary, sir. That is for equipment, that is for salaries and insurance of two guys. It's not 159,000 for salary.
That's all I had.
And the city pays half of that 159, that's correct.
And half for 300 too.
Yes.
Thank Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions?
I just need to say one thing if I could, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
Mr. Doty.
This body moved to take control of the animal control section. By this body, I mean the commission. And this body approved that and gave that to, I think they still report to the county mayor's office, do they not, Mr. Mayor?
That is correct. Animal control does.
This body did that, not this mayor. It's not something that's been changed. It's been this way for years. We did it because of some issues that were going on and requests from the community for us to take control of it. And we took control. And that has to be budgeted and paid for when you do it. That's how that got moved. It wasn't that this mayor did it or something that's changed. It's been this way for years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Doty. Is anyone else? Mr. Neesmith?
If you were referencing me, I wasn't saying it was Chris Cutshaw that did this. So, I remember when it came up.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Hayhurn. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go to 5C. It's a request from the 3rd Judiciary Recovery Support Service Incorporated. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, back in February of 2023, we appropriated $500,000 to go to the Recovery Support Services. Actual name is 3rd Judicial District Recovery Support Services. This body voted to give $500,000, and they purchased 2 homes for recovery residents. And they've took these homes, they've renovated those. Now there is a balance of $10,800 left that was to go toward the purchase of the homes or the renovation. That's what's left. So now they have made a request that we convert this $10,800 to go to their utilities and insurance cost. It's money that we gave them. It's just they were kind enough to come to us and ask, can we do this? And I'm bringing it before this body to request just that. And I have Penny Knight here tonight to speak to this.
Good evening. Could I take a few minutes to,
Yes.
I brought some guests with me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bridget, just let you stand up. Bridget's in our program. They've given me permission to share these parts of their stories, but Bridget was a part of the homeless community here, and she has now been sober 9 months and working at Synchronized Logistics and completing treatment. And she started out in 315 or 321. So she lived in one of the homes. She's moved to another home now that she's gotten more stable. Thank you, Bridget. I've got Denny Schaefer. Denny Schaefer has been a part of our homeless community for the last 10 years before he started our program. And he needed a safe and sober place to stay where he can be taken care of. He says he's been an addict most of his life, but he has been 10 months sober. He's facing a serious surgery, and that will not be happening on the jail's dime. He'll be rehabilitating with us instead. Thank you, Denny. Tim Freeman, who's been Hamblen County for his entire life. I think he graduated with the sheriff. But Tim also needed a safe and sober place to live while he's rehabbing. And how long have you been sober, Tim? 9 months. And he works at Trent Earthworks. And I've saved Paige for last. Which house did you start in, 315 or 321? So she started in 321. That's the Ward House if you ever buy there. 315, we just had, if you remember the invitation, we dedicated to Judge Boniface and named it Best Cottage. But Paige is a recent graduate. She started in the house. She now lives in independent housing on her own. She's gotten her license back, owns a car, and is a #1 salesperson at T-Mobile. She's got unsupervised visits with her daughter, and she's been 15 months sober. Well, I thank them for coming tonight, because I know, you all get a lot of requests and money, but there's some faces to what we do. There's 132 more faces in our program. That's just 4 of them. And the primary need for people starting recovery has been housing. We saw that from the very beginning. I think we told y'all, housing and transportation. So most of our funds go for those 2 things. We do help people with vision checkups and glasses, get their IDs, birth certificates, and sometimes we have to pay co-pays for some medications when they're getting stable. So I just wanted that update and be available for questions if anybody had any questions.
Any questions? Ms. Howe?
Will be enough for the utilities and insurance, but
Well, the insurance will run us about, and we pay it annually to save a few dollars. It's $2,500 to $3,000, and the utilities, man, the biggest bill this winter for both houses combined was almost $2,000. But we have since gotten some insulation in both. So when we were using those leftover funds, I hate to take up any more time, but Judge Boniface, when the money was, when y'all generously gave us the money, we thought we saved the county money, and then y'all said, no, use this rest of it, because we had a lot of renovations that needed to do. And so we've spent about $70,000 on the renovations, and this 10's left. There might be a bill or 2 that are outstanding that somebody, we're saying, give us the bill for what they did, but they've not given us the bill. That ends up being a donation letter for your business if they don't give me a bill. So, but it'll help. It'll help some.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Walker. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Reed. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Knight, for what all you do. Go to 5D is funding year 26 Homeland Security Grant application. EM Director Ricky Perky.
I'm just going to take this off because I have to adjust that quite a bit. Good evening, Commissioners. The EMA office has received a request for application fiscal year 26 for the Homeland Security Grant through District 2. I'm sure most of you know this, as it's like previous years. It's a 100% grant with no local match, federally funded. Usually it's roughly average $24,000 annually. In accordance with the grant, my office will comply with all national security priorities. And this grant will allow us to, and continue to allow us to help our public safety entities with equipment, not only to better their services for our community, but make sure that we stay prepared and upgrade to all their equipment. Just a few things I prepared for you. Sometimes you're not aware of what that may be, the equipment that goes into our public safety. So I've got the last few years and what it has provided. In 2020, it gave portable radios to our EMS agency, generators for our Sheriff's Department, cameras for our MPD for big events. In 21, it provided the MFD. If you don't know, MFD is a top 2 hazmat team. There's only like 3 of those in the state, and we're one of them. So a lot of equipment went to that to make sure we stayed par with state and federal regulations. Extrication equipment for our rescue squad, breaching tools for MPD. 2022, it provided turnout gear for our volunteer fire departments. 23, it provided EMS with stretcher batteries, training pistols for the Sheriff's Department, as well as turnout gear in 2025, which we are currently concluding. I can't tell you what it will give this year. That depends what they allow us and give us. The Homeland Security District Office will, after our applicants are in, will decide what monies are given to which county. So that's dictated through them, and then we proceed. So At this time, I respectfully request approval to complete and submit our application for the Homeland Security Grant.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harwell. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Richardson. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Perky. We'll go to 5E, Resolution 26, a resolution to utilize the Tennessee Certified Recovery Court Program Award in funding year 26-27. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, this is a grant that we've had now ongoing. This grant is in the amount of $103,000 to be utilized by the Recovery Court Program that Ms. Knight is a part of. One thing to recognize, this grant helps keep people out of jail. This helps fund folks to have counseling services and give them means to move forward with their lives. It helps them. It is a grant that requires no match. So, any questions?
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Walker. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to 5F, Resolution 26, resolution to utilize the Tennessee Certified Mental Health Recovery Court Program Award in funding year 26-27. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, it's the same type of grant. However, this one is for the Mental Health Recovery Court Program. Again, helping citizens to regain their lives, give them a way to prevent anti-recidivism, give them some help. Same thing, $180,000 grant that requires no match.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Ahern. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to 5G, the Host and Connect discussion and approve Host and Connect litigation settlement. Mr. Capps.
Folks, this was a case that was originally filed by Bulls Gap, filed by the Terry Law Firm, and it was originally designed to collect a bunch of franchise fees. Host and Connect was delivering streaming services and were making use of wire lines in the rights-of-ways of all the various parties. It was Hawkins County, Rogersville, Churchill, Hamblen County. We mediated the case, I want to say 2 months or so ago. There was a gentleman by the name of Morris Haddon, who's a well-respected attorney out of the Tri-Cities area, was our mediator. The case ultimately developed to not be quite the dollars involved that everyone had thought initially. And as the mediation developed, there was a dollar figure that was set that was basically the amount that Host and Connect was willing to pay to settle with all of the various entities, the various cities and counties that were involved. And the settlement, all of the parties agreed to settle, and the settlement amounts were in direct proportion to the amount of revenue that each city or county had generated from the use of those wire lines. And so Hamblen County's figure is $60,000, and as I say, it's directly related to the amount of service that Host and Connect provided. As you might imagine, the Hawkins County area was a much greater amount than Hamblen County. Not a lot of Hamblen County revenue. So I was in contact with Mayor Cutshaw throughout, and this settlement was conditioned upon this body approving that settlement figure of the $60,000. And so I bring that to you for discussion and for any questions that anyone might have.
Anyone got any questions before we vote? Ms. Green?
When did that case start, out of curiosity, sir?
when did it start?
Yes, sir.
I would say, I can't give you an exact date, Ms. Green, but it's probably been about 1.5 to 2 years ago. And it was filed, as I say, by the Terry Law Firm, and the statute under which it was filed did not, it really didn't name Hamblen County or City of Morristown or Churchill or Sir Gowensville as parties, but statute required us to be put on notice of the filing if we were going to be affected by the lawsuit. And so we were affected, and so hopefully we'll get $60,000 that we can put to good use, whatever this body decides to use it for.
One more question. If they agree to the settlement, and I'm not on this committee, but when will you expect it to be paid to Hamblen County?
I would think almost immediately.
Within the next 90 days, I'm assuming?
Absolutely within the next 90 days.
Out of curiosity, I know that through the state you have to file franchise excise tax returns as well. Will that affect, I noticed you quoted 60,000, will that affect us in any way?
Affect our tax?
Our portion, yes, sir, our portion.
Our portion is just a straight out, will just be a straight out check to us without any strings attached or taxes.
That's what I want to know. Thank you, sir.
Do I have a motion to accept the settlement?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a first and a second by Mr. Doty, a second by Mr. Harville. Any other discussion?
Just one quick question. Will there be any fees associated
Well,
from us as far as that will come out of this 60,000?
there are no fees coming out of this 60,000. That was certainly a possibility at the outset of the case, but we elected to go a little different direction with that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to 5H, change order for the Brady Drive Stormwater Project. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, we accepted a stormwater grant several years ago, and just now getting down to it. All the engineering is basically complete, but it's a TDEC ARPA grant for stormwater infrastructure. During this process, during the engineering, several things have popped up, and the one on Brady Drive, there's a change order that we're asking for the removal and replacement of a large maple tree on the property. It will extensively damage this as the excavation takes place, and in connection with the homeowner that was suggested. That is one thing. The next thing is, because of the heavily damaged road that will take place during this, that these grant funds will also pave that portion of the road, and no county money will be used in this. This whole entire change order will be taken from grant award.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Walker. Any discussion? Ms. Green?
Is it a matching grant or is scot-free?
Ma'am, this grant has been ongoing the whole time. I don't remember. I don't think there is, but I don't have that answer right now. I do not recall if there is a match on this stormwater grant, but these projects have been ongoing. This ARPA money was given to us, and there's 3 projects that have been awarded within this. Brady Drive, Deerwood Shadows, and one on Kidwell's Ridge Road across from the subdivision there on the right.
Taylor Estates.
You're talking about
The
one
Meadows. Excuse me?
Are you talking about the one that flooded all the time, that run it plumb across the road there at the store?
Yes, that's correct.
That's long overdue.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir.
Mr. Neesmith?
That's, I know that area and I know that tree. That tree's been trimmed back. So what you're planning on doing is taking that trim out?
That's what the engineering services
They
recommend.
gonna bring the road over next to the tree?
No,
It's
I
about
do,
25 feet from it right now,
sir, I do not know that.
the road.
I do not
You
know
gonna
that.
build that holler up there, are you gonna build all that up?
I do not know that answer.
What we're gonna do?
Well, the engineering services have indicated what needs to take place. I don't think the roadbed changes. No, sir, I do not. I think drainage is going to be the issue that's changed.
Well, the drainage is down in the bottom of it. You're not gonna build it up?
They're gonna run the water off.
Huh?
They're gonna run the water away
Where you gonna run it off to, Bobby?
They been studying this for 2 years, and they've got a plan in place, according to the engineers.
Okay.
I got one question.
Mr. Carden?
I know, Mr. Britton said there was 460,000,
That's total for the project, for the 3 different projects, yes, sir.
so that was the total for all those?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 5I is Resolution 26, a resolution to accept the TDEC Solid Waste Management Hurricane Helene Grant. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, this grant we got in just in a deadline with this when our grant administrator, Ms. Horton, came across this grant. It awards Hamblen County $284,661.75. It's 100% grant with no cost to the county. And what this is, it's to mitigate our landfill use. It comes from Hurricane Helene money. What we're getting for that is a track hole for our solid waste board to use at the landfill. We're getting 2 new 40-yard roll-off containers for the convenience center. If anybody's been to the landfill, there's 2 containers that you drive up and you can unload yourself without having to go to the actual dump site, which is very nice. And also a 40-yard compactor box for recycling. That's what this grant will take place. And by the way, it was the only way to use these funds was in solid waste management.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Howe. Any questions?
Just a quick statement. I know at times there's been some discussion of why we now have grant administrator and why we're paying for this position. Well, this right here just says it all. This one grant that she came across that she found because she had time to do it. It wasn't just something that passed her desk. She searched it out, basically paid for her for 4 years. So we're saving our county hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing this. And I just want to thank this body for approving it to begin with, because it's been a marvelous, marvelous benefit to our county.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 5J, Resolution 26, a resolution to accept the Tennessee Department of Health Local Health Services Grant. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, this grant is, again, a no-match grant, $1.4 million grant that comes to us. One thing to explain here, this is federal and state money that comes to us, and we've been receiving this for many years. It is a mix of these federal and state dollars, and it offsets local health department cost. We have never had a resolution before to come before this body, but this is an effort to let our commission realize the funding that passes through that we do receive. This goes to the operation of our local health department with salaries, benefits. We've got a dentist that will come to our new facility once it opens on the Oak Tree Plaza. Once that facility opens, that's what this grant will take care of.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Walker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Harville. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to 5K. It's budget amendments. First one will be K1. It'll be the Hamblen County Department of Education Budget Amendment Number 10. It's an increase of $2,562,500.21. Mr. Ladd?
Good evening. So first off, I want to say that this has no impact on the county's maintenance of effort. On the first page of the amendment, it is for summer school. That is $1,262,500.21. That's the exact same allocation that we received from the state last year. On the next page, you'll see a small reclass of tutoring funds that we get from the state. We are reclassing some from wages over to supplies. And then last but not least, we are ready to budget the ARPA funds that you guys so graciously allocated to us. We're going to use those funds to help remodel John Hay.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ahern. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Ladd. K2 is Fund 101, the county clerk's office. Ms. Hale? It's in $16,900.
Good evening. The budget amendment before you for the clerk's office just recategorizes some previously budgeted money for various, you can read data processing, printing, contracted service, office supplies, but the most of it is data processing equipment and moving money that's left from the deputy line to cover this.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Mr. Reed. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to K3, Fund 101, the county clerk's office, $32,000.
The county clerk has also asked to move $32,000 from her reserve account to cover the purchase of printers and upgrading her Windows Office suite.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion, Mr. Doty. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Howe. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go to K4, Fund 101, Drug Court of $9,500.
This is another just reclassification of previously budgeted money to cover overtime costs within the drug court department and using excess funds left in the deputy line to cover it.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Walker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Doty. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. K5 is Fund 101, the Register of Deeds office for $10,000.
Again, reclassification of previously budgeted money to cover the Register of Deeds office had an employee change their medical coverage, and then their data processing equipment costs have been more than we anticipated. So we're moving funds within the deputy line and the part-time line to cover these.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Richardson. Any questions? Ms. Howe?
No, they haven't lost a deputy. It's just they've had some turnover, and there's some funds left there. And then Mr. Clausen's part-time line, he's done with the project that he had been using part-time folks for. So when he comes before you with his budget, you'll see his part-time line decreased for next year. That's how we ended up with extra money. No.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Hale. Item 6 is item to interest, which is no action necessary. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Chairman Long. Move along to the Personnel Committee, and I'll call on Chairman Stan Harvey.
Call the Personnel Committee to order. Anyone wishing to address this committee, you have 3 minutes. Seeing none, old business, we have none. Or new business, we have approval of education pay submissions. You'll see those there on the next page. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Horner.
Second.
Second, Mr. Carden. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion passes. 4B is the approval of longevity pay submissions. You'll see those two on the next page. I'll entertain a motion for those.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty,
Second.
second Mr. Long. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed likewise. Motion passes. No items of interest. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Chairman Harville. We'll move now to the Calendar and Rules Committee. I'll call on Chairman Thomas Doty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Calendar and Rules Committee meeting to order. If we have any visitors wishing to address this committee about agenda items only, you may do so now. Seeing none, we'll move forward. Item 3, old business, we have none. Item 4, under new business, 4A, is a review of the regular calendar items. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Ahern. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Excuse me. Item 4B, review of consent calendar items. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you, Ms. Howell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Item 5, items of interest, we have none. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Thomas Doty. Move to our Budget Committee. Call on Chairman Rodney Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Call the Budget Committee to order. Anybody wishing to address this committee at this time?
Mr. Chairman, did you not say you're going to have a break in between?
I would recommend this is where we're going to do that. I think so. I've not seen the agenda for that one. Is that,
Well, we can certainly break now.
well, when we go into this, we've got budget overview, and then we have the sheriff's department delivering theirs, and it may take a few more minutes.
Okay, we got it. We will stand adjourned. 5 minutes. Call us back to order. It's okay with Miss Ahern?
Yes, sir.
She's my eye in the sky. Now get to the Budget Committee, and we'll call on Chairman Rodney Long.
Call the Budget Committee to order. Is any visitors wishing to address this committee at this time?
Linda Noe, Joe Stevens Road. I just would like to know or find out when this will be posted on the website for the public. We're kind of a little bit in the dark here right now. Thank you.
Anyone else? We'll move to number 3. There is no old business. We'll go to 4, new business. Fiscal year 26-27 budget overview. Presentation by County Mayor Chris Cutshaw.
Good evening, Commissioners. Here we go. Budget overview, we'll start with updates from last year. We've had a busy year. A lot was accomplished in this year, there's no doubt. A lot more there is to do. As we continue through this, you're welcome to ask questions. And if we don't have the answer today, we'll certainly jot those down and get those answers for you. But as we move through, since last year, renovation work began at Oak Tree Plaza for our health department, ag center that will be out there, and we estimate that to be ready to go by June the 30th of this year. Hopefully, the new health department will open in July. So they're ahead of schedule. Our new Justice Center was completed during the year actually during this budget year, but also opened in March, which was long awaited. We've added new positions in circuit court, general sessions, courtroom security, maintenance, data processing, and finance. There's no doubt the county has grown. We've got needs everywhere we look. Vehicles have been purchased for the property assessor, Cherokee Park, Sheriff's Department, and the Sanitation Department. All of our wheel tax revenue has now been placed in highway capital projects, and we estimate that to be around $3.3 million. That was a Stan Harville motion, and this body approved that. So we are working toward now with dedicated money toward our roads. We listened is what we've done. All corrections officers last year received a 10% cost of living increase, and all other employees in our county received a 7% increase, and that was largely due to a salary study that was completed last year, and after reviewing, that's the recommendation that came out. All 23 SRO positions were funded for the entire year, 18 through a grant, and this county incurs 5 SROs on its own. That's quite a bit. When you think about $75,000 apiece that this county is paying for in addition. In other words, school safety is very important to this body. Our budget components is divided into these major categories: our general fund, our sanitation, we all can see, sanitation, highway capital projects, debt service, special debt service, and drug fund. Those are our budget components that we have. Our revenue sources: local revenues from property taxes, sales tax, and county fee offices. We also have our state grants. And just by what we just discussed earlier, how those grants are utilized and how they really provide assistance in our county. Federal through state agency grants. Is that a comment? I'm sorry, I heard something that might have not been you. Sorry. Also transfers from other funds. If you'll check our sales tax revenue and the actuals and the projected, the estimates, the actual $24 million, if you'll go back to 24, 25, $24 million. Want that to reflect, everyone to understand that, for example, let's go down to general purpose school fund, 22 million. This county does not receive that kind of money. That is including the Marshtown City sales tax. Our county receives about $4.4 million in sales tax, of which $2.2 million of that goes to the school system. The rest of that funding that you see under general purpose schools is from the City of Marshtown sales tax revenue. And you can see our projected, we are maintaining our model of underestimating revenue, obviously as close as we can. It's not overly underestimating, but yet overestimating our expenses. We want to balance our budget at the end. Any questions on sales tax? Our current property tax structure. This is what we adopted last year. The inside rate, of course, is $1.31 per $100 of assessed value, and outside of the city, it is $1.47. You can see how we compare with other counties. We're grateful that we're able to maintain that, and that is due to partnerships that we have throughout our county and city, including our industrial parks and how they carry a lot of our burden as far as our tax base. But you can see the general breakdown of how 77, right at 77 cents go to the general fund, and general schools get 28 cents. Our general debt service is right at 26 cents. And out, if you're in the county, 16 cents goes to sanitation. Property tax revenue. This year, we're at $36 million overall. $36 million overall. That is an estimated. We don't have that final number in just yet. We'll have to wait for June 30th. And we're projecting the same amount of revenue for next year as far as our property tax. Fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget. If you'll recall, our fiscal year 25-26, the budget amount that we approved did come with a deficit of $1.2 million, and that was related to capital items that we had. We do not feel that that will incur due to several things. We've had higher collected fees collected from fee offices. We've had increased revenue from grants. Our jail expenses for this fiscal year is less due to the delay in the opening of the jail. Therefore, some estimated salary expenses were higher than actual because the positions were vacated during the year. So we do expect this 1.2 to come closer to even by June the 30th, but that's where we stand right now. We estimate the property tax would generate $6.7 million in 25-26, but this estimate was short by about 1.6% or 300,000. There's why we're trying to estimate close as far as our revenue, and we're just a little under in that estimation. And $20 million of our $36 million that we collect from property taxes go to our general fund. Now, as we begin our fiscal year 2026-2027 budget, there's one thing that I'd like each and every commissioner to be aware of. When we did our budget meetings with each elected official, with each department head, we took their request as they're unedited. So as we go into our budget process, I want you guys to understand it is your job to check this out. We took unedited requests, most very warranted, yet, and I'm not going to say anything is not warranted, but yet that is where this commission has to do its job as a legislative body to take a look at the budget. I'm presenting a budget to you that is unedited from each department, from each elected official, minus two things. We are matching the city, most likely an E911 request. Y'all may be aware, and this may be over in here, and I'm not remembering right now. There was a bill presented for the governor. The state legislature passed, the representatives and the Senate passed and sent it to the governor. It would have added $4.22 to each phone bill. What that money would have done was went to E911 to offset any expenses they had. Well, that was vetoed by the governor, and therefore now those expenses will come back to us. Those expenses, by the way, are divided proportionately. Well, there is an MTAS model that we use per calls inside the city and outside the city. But that bill, or that budget will be presented unedited, but yet we'll need to talk when it comes. He will be here on Saturday to deliver that. Also, the other unedited, or edited, forgive me, is the library. The library, we expect that we'll match the city's, their portion. We'll go over that again when that comes up. But when I tell you everything I present to you is unedited, it's minus those two things. So I didn't want to mislead anything. But we estimate an additional $1 million in revenue for this year. Almost half of this is from increases in fees collected from county officials, trustee, register of deeds, circuit court, county clerk, Chancery Court, General Sessions, and the Sheriff, and anticipated annual net revenue from the state, TVA payments, prisoner boarding fees, and grant revenue. Those are up. Remainder of the increase is anticipated to come through federal grants, such as SAMHSA grant, which is like a $2 million grant that is divided over 4 years, I believe it is. Do you recall? 4 years? Yeah. So that is our increased revenue. But going into this year, let's flip the page. We estimate an additional $2 million in anticipated expenses. And those additional expenses will come from personnel and salaries, benefit cost, positions added that were not in last year's budget, increased TCRS rate, which we have no choice in, it's imperative. Changes in employee health coverage, again, things that when an employee comes on board and they have the right to change their employee coverage. Increased costs in maintenance agreements due to inflation, additions of systems in the new Justice Center and the Health Department. Increased utility costs across the county. Increased costs for inmate medical and inmate food. Again, things that we cannot control. Increased custodial supplies, increased liability and workman's comp insurance, 8% over last year. That has gone up. The budget includes $174,000 for the purchase of 3 new Sheriff's Department vehicles. Additional funding requests from local nonprofit agencies, and additional capital improvements that are needed for our courthouse, the roof and HVAC system, and paving needs. So there is your additional, a portion of our additional $2 million in expenses. Now, we'll go into our general fund. As presented, our budget contains roughly a $2 million deficit. It includes departmental budgets and nonprofit needs as requested. The budget, keep in mind, is right at 67% of our general fund budget is for salaries and benefits. Let that soak in. 67%. And still, there's need. This includes capital expenses for vehicles, roofing repairs. This $2 million deficit does not include a COLA. It does not include the cost of living. Next item, you can see the graph here of the breakdown of our general fund expenses. You might want to take a moment and see if there's any questions there. Our biggest one, of course, is the 67% for the salaries and benefits, and the next one is purchased services. That includes a number of items: communication, consultants, contracts with government agencies, private agencies, dues, memberships, legal services, and so on. Expenses by department, obviously our jail and sheriff's department, our biggest employers in our county, has the largest expenses. That stands to reason as far as that breakdown. Any questions on the breakdown of expenses?
One question on that jail expenses, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Is the sheriff, the 24.94, is that with the new building open and running and everything?
Commissioner, yes, sir, or Mr. Chairman, it is partly with that, but keep in mind, it did not open fully until March, and so we're down. I mean, this does not reflect a year's cost just yet. Hey, you know, there's something to remind this body about. The sheriff and his folks have done very well to hire and maintain now. We've got a new facility. It's a lot better to work in, a lot better environment. He's actually retaining employees now. But moving forward, that is something that we've got to continue to do. We are servicing 400 inmates. That is our benchmark. As the population grows in time, they'll have to add additional employees to continue to be certified. What I want to remind you, those 400 inmates that we are servicing with these additional 50 employees for corrections officers, it didn't matter what style of jail you built. It didn't matter if you had 400 inmates, you had to have a certain number of corrections officers. We were supposed to have this number of officers in the old building, but we couldn't retain them. We could not retain them. We should have incurred this cost years ago. If you recall last year's budget, we came in with a $4 million deficit right off the bat. And what that deficit was, most of that was for 50 new employees times 60,000 package with salary and benefits on an estimate. $3 million right off the bat. That's where that was coming into last year's budget. And I want this body to understand that 400 inmates was the benchmark. We should have had those employees prior, but we didn't. We could not retain them, and I'm sure the sheriff or captain or chief, any one of them can speak to this, but now we are maintaining our employees.
Is the cost of the jail being run reflected in that $2 million deficit?
Finance director, yes.
Okay.
We are estimating utility costs and insurance and increased operating costs. There's no doubt we've got a new building. We've got to maintain our new building now with HVAC systems that have to be checked out and maintained. We don't want to buy something brand new and then not, the warranty holds us for a while, but yet these maintenance agreements have to be in place. And it is a new facility. Any other questions? We'll move to our sanitation fund. It includes $680,000 for the purchase of new garbage and brush truck. And that will be something to pay attention to on our Saturday budget presentation. Again, it's about employees. And do you understand this county is incurring difficulty in keeping employees? It's across our world, if you will. Everywhere I go, I hear it from others. It's not just us. But the sanitation is coming to us for even CDL drivers. 26,000 pounds, anything that weighs 26,000 pounds and over, you got to have a CDL. They're having trouble just keeping CDL drivers to keep trucks on the road. So these new trucks are non-CDL required. They'll explain that to you on Saturday, but yet that is part of what this is. So we can keep our routes running, unfortunately with maybe a smaller truck, but we've got to keep them going. This is a service this county provides that we intend to keep going as far as door-to-door garbage pickup. Any questions on the sanitation? By the way, that is a way, hopefully, to help in our employment situation with the sanitation. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, and again, this is an overview. We'll get in the weeds when we go through the actual line-by-line budget. Okay? Yes. No, not at all, not at all. I would not recommend that our employees not receive a COLA. It's not included yet. Now, we can discuss after it's whittled down, after you guys look at certain things, and we can give you, in fact, in the budget overview, there is a breakdown of what each percentage of COLA up to 5% would cost. But we've just not included that in our overview. Okay. Highway 131, our highway fund budget. This also includes capital purchases and improvements of $495,000. Does not include the COLAs, Ms. Howell just pointed out, but it does contain roughly a $535,000 deficit. There is fund balance there that can incur most of this, but that'll be a discussion that we can take up again on the Saturday when this budget is presented. We do think some of the budget expenses will be a little less due to some vacancies in positions there. Any questions on this one? Okay. Commissioner Howell, here we go. Cost analysis for cost of living raises right there. There's a breakdown from 2.5% to 5%. It's something for this body to take home to think about. We've got a long way to go. We're just starting to present facts. Saturday will be a big day, which the Sheriff's Department will be up in just a moment to give you their budget requests and their budget line items. But as this body moves forward, there's work to be done. Like I said, unedited is presented to you, and it'll be up to this body to decide which way to go on this. We do expect some increases in expenses, but there you are with cost of living.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
for Saturday, maybe if we can get it, could we get like on this sheet, it'd be really handy to have like our percent, I wrote down percent of fund balances and the number of employees for maybe like the last 2 or 3 years. Is
Okay, that
or-
would breakdown of employees in each department, I mean, like.
Just like, how many's in the sanitation department,
Okay.
right, general? and
Okay.
What's in the police
Because
department?
that'll be different. That COLA is separate from highway fund and then general
Right.
fund. All three of them are different. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want a number of employees.
Just curious, I mean, I couldn't tell you right now without Googling it probably how many we have total, right? We can look that up, but what the breakdown is.
We have close to 400 total employees in the county.
Right.
Close to 400, but you want to break down in each.
Just to have it to know when we apply these, if we're gonna apply any cost of living, to know, just, what would it look like?
I got you.
And then the other thing was, like on the percent fund balances, I know our general fund has a requirement that we keep,
Yes,
right, with the comptroller.
that is correct.
What do we have if we historically keep in the other funds, like sanitation, do we keep 50% every year, 40%, just maybe the last couple of years as an average?
Okay.
Just as something to look at, because you've got them shown here really well. Just curious what that was like the last couple of years. So if we had to.
We were behind, I think it was in highway or sanitation.
Yeah,
in
that's
the last
right.
year. We got it caught up. And obviously, we're trying to maintain our fund balances.
Correct. Yeah,
But yes, general fund's decent shape.
yes.
We want to leave it there. Okay, next slide.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I hate to interrupt you,
No,
but
fine.
when I look at the cost of living analyst, I also like to look at what the health insurance is costing us per employee too. So you may be going to touch on that, and I don't want to jump ahead of you, I'm sorry, but.
No, but you're
But I
exactly
like to
right.
have that,
Yes.
I like to look at that at both of them when I make a decision.
Once you do a cost of living, it will reflect in health insurance as well. So
Okay.
we'll try to get some of those numbers. Okay, our next slide, general debt service. A small deficit of 200,000. Our principal and interest repayments will be slightly higher than last fiscal year, but there is no anticipation of new debt to be issued. I want to repeat that. This county is not looking at issuing any more debt. We've got work to do, but yet we feel like we got funds in place to take care of that. We do not anticipate any more debt issued. You can see the numbers there. Any question? There's a list of our debt obligations, outstanding debt service general fund when they come off, just like buying a new home, 30-year mortgage. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
In the beginning, it said the general fund budget contains roughly 2 million deficit. These deficits that you're giving, is that on top of the 2 million? Like the?
No, these funds they're separate. There's a general fund deficit, and then these other ones are in their own funds. Okay, they're not cumulative. Okay, our Highway Capital Projects Fund, key point is our wheel tax revenue that we discussed earlier does generate approximately $3.3 million, which now goes to our road improvement. We moved the investment income budgeted to help maintain our maintenance of effort in the highway fund. We included money for striping, hot mix, crushed stone, and guardrails, all used for road prepping and maintenance. And although wheel tax revenue is received across the entire year, our projected balance for 6/30/27 will be roughly $5 million to use on paving and prep for roads. So that's nice, that we expect that increase by 6/30/27 up to $5 million. So obviously the road paving as well, anticipate that to increase as far as that 2-inch cap, what that cost will be as well. So it's nice to know that we've got some extra funding, hopefully coming in anticipation. Any questions? So if you'll flip to the last page, you see our budget workshop on Saturday, 9 a.m. Expect a productive day. I know it's a long day, but yet it's a productive day that we can work through many of the budget items, and you guys have all that you need possibly to start working on the budget after Saturday. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir.
We'll move to 4B now. It will be tab 31 in your budget book. If you'll turn to tab 31, be courtroom security. I assume that you're going to represent the Sheriff's Department.
I am. Well, we're going to tag team it again this year.
Tab 31.
Well, again, obviously, I'm not Sheriff Mullins. I'm Michelle Green. I'm his executive assistant. But it worked really well for us last year to do this together. So we're going to give it a whirl again and see how it goes. Let's just go ahead and start by saying this. The Sheriff's Office, we have 8 different divisions, budgets that are umbrellaed under the Sheriff's Office. That would be the Sheriff's Office. That would be the Detention Center. It's court security. It's narcotics. It's the sex offender registry. civil service, it's also the workhouse, and it is also the school resource officers. I can tell you that there has been a lot of work that's gone into this budget, the 26-27 budget. Of these 8 budgets, we are going into this new budget year with minimal increase request. A lot of this is because of the grants that we've received since Sheriff Mullins has been in office. We've gotten grants that have covered some really big ticket items. We've got grants that have covered things from gloves to inmate uniforms and inmate mattresses. So we've done really well with those grants. This year, we've already been awarded the $1,350,000 for the school resource officers, and we've also gotten an $8,000 non-matching THSO grant. That one allows for overtime when we do traffic enforcement, and through that grant, we've already bought 3 computers for 3 of our vehicles. Now, this upcoming year also, the sheriff has agreed that we're going to once again partner with the National Child Safety Council. By that partnership, we have been able, since he's been in office, we've been able to get in the ballpark of $17,000 in totally free educational materials and supplies for kids. We've gotten all these at no cost to taxpayers. And of course, we get these to kids through our SROs, but also through court security and our detectives and patrol as well. Now, I feel like it needs to be pointed out that the sheriff's office, we've been very frugal this year in our spending. Hopefully you've seen that with the monthly expense summaries that you guys get throughout the year. We've been frugal this year. We're going to do it going into the next year. Because, you know, we had a conversation. I don't know if he said it or if I said it. One of us said, yeah, we're Hamblen County employees, but we are also Hamblen County taxpayers. So we stretch this budget as much as we can. Now, last year when we did this, we gave you guys the handouts. So I've given, I think everybody should have theirs now. This is an example of how we don't waste money. So I put all these handouts together, and the goal is for them to coincide with the tabs in your notebooks. So I get all these handouts ready, and I find out the tab numbers don't match. Yours and ours are totally different, but we don't waste paper, we don't waste ink, we don't waste manpower, so you know what, we're just gonna roll with it. But the whole point of these handouts, the meat and potatoes of it is just this. It's going to show you what we started with this year. It's going to show you what we're asking for next year. But there are also notations that explains why we are asking for increases. But there are also notations on this handout that tell you why there's decreases in quite a few of those line items. So, I think you may agree, as we go along, if anybody has questions, let's just go ahead and do it. Yeah. One of the things we're going to do, we're going to talk about operational costs. Nothing to do with salaries. We're going to talk about, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, that should have went around. Let me,
Here you go.
You got an extra one.
we're always prepared. Does he have his?
He got
one.
Oh, okay, great. Somebody's holding down over there.
another one. Does anybody need one?
That was because Mr. Huntsman wasn't here. We had the extra. So anyway, what the sheriff and I are going to talk about are the operational costs. No salaries, just what we need to go from day to day to day to make this work. So if everybody's ready, do you want to start? Or do you want me to go?
Why don't you start?
Okay. He knows I like to
Great
talk.
job.
So I'd have missed that.
I said you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So let's go ahead and start with our blue tab, but for you, it's going to be tab 31, which, as Bobby said, that's court security. We're not going to talk salaries, so it's nothing at the top of the page. We're going to start with line 322, which is evaluation and testing. We actually have a decrease request in this line. Part of this is because we've been able to secure testing that's less expensive than what we've previously done. Our tests before have cost us $250 a pop every time we've done it. We now have a young lady who can do our testing at $200. That may not sound like a big savings, but when you consider how many potential employees we have that we are constantly testing, that's a massive savings. So
That's psychological testing
Yes.
that each officer has to have.
So in that, we're asking for a decrease of $1,000. On down to line 334, now we are anticipating an increase in AutoClear under the court security budget. AutoClear is the company that's responsible for doing all the preventative maintenance on our scanners. This happens every year. It just goes with these contracts. So that line item, we're actually asking for an increase of $700, totally out of our hands. We can't do anything to control that. Line 354, transportation, no change. Line 355, travel, no change. And I think it needs to be noted on this, we have a lot of the operations admin who have gone to train the trainer certifications, where they now are certified to do a lot of trainings. The goal is that we host trainings on site. We have, you know, as the current sheriff's office gets a little remodeling done, we'll have more space to do those. But the goal is to, in the immediate future, that we can do some trainings in the meeting room that's in the new detention center. So again, no change in travel. Line 351, uniforms, no change in that. One of the main reasons we have started taking out the cost of our honor guard uniforms. We take that out of the sheriff's office budget as opposed to court security. That has been a major help. And also Lieutenant Haig and Sergeant Coleman, they, not more often than not, they are constantly reassigning uniforms for people in court security who have either gone on to patrol or sadly who have left for other law enforcement agencies. Going on to, am I going too fast? If I start going, when I get excited, I talk fast. So if you need me to slow down, you just let me know. Line 524, which is in service, also a decrease in that line. CTAS, I'm sure you're familiar with CTAS. They offer a lot of post-certified trainings, and they do that at no cost. We try to take advantage of those when we can. The issue with that is, of course, we can't always send people to these trainings, even though they're free, because we can't really spare the manpower. We do, however, have an option to do Lexapo. This is an online portal where our folks can get their post-certified training and other training that we need. So for this reason, line 524, we're looking for a decrease in that, $2,000 decrease, as a matter of fact. Line 716, which is law enforcement equipment, it's also a decrease in that line, albeit it's $935, but again, we are doing everything we can to cut this budget. Does anybody have any questions about court security? And I think, and the sheriff and I and the captain, the chief, we talked about this earlier this afternoon, and we mentioned this last year, and in case you've not remembered, I think it's important that people realize court security is not just court security. Yes, they secure the courtrooms and they secure the buildings, but they do way more than that. They're in charge of mental health transports. They take the inmates from the jail into the courtrooms. They serve papers. They serve orders of protection. They do all the out-of-states, am I correct? They do all of the out-of-state picking up inmates and dropping them off. A lot of the community functions that we do at the sheriff's office is the court security officers that help represent the sheriff's office. So yeah, I think it's important that court security, we refer to it internally as our operations division, because yeah, these folks, they do way more than court security. So again, anybody have questions? Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh.
Explain overtime.
Well, if you don't mind, Ms. Howe, right now, the portion we're going with, we're just talking about the operations right now. We can address that later. I guess after everybody gets all their ducks in a row with what they want to do with salaries, but right now we're just going with this. Your tab 32, which is our green tab, Sheriff's Office. Do you want me to start? You want to go? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start with three. Again, we're not talking salaries. Let's start with line 302, which is advertising. We're not asking for a change in advertising. One of the main reasons is the majority of advertising, not all of it, but the majority of advertising we can do that on social media. Luckily, when we do that, the area radio stations, they'll pick it up and run with it. The Tribune, thank you, they'll pick it up and run with it as well. So that cuts down our costs in that. It doesn't totally alleviate the cost, but that is the reason we're not asking for any changes, no increases. We're just going to leave it the same in advertising. Line 307, which is communications, we're asking for a $2,000 decrease in that one. We came upon that simply by basing it on the usage this year and also the usage last year. Did I mention we've worked hard to cut these budgets? Line 312, private agency contracts, no change. Line 317, data processing services. There is an increase request in that. It's in the amount of $554. This, again, is nothing that we have any control of. This has to do with Microsoft 365. They have their annual fees, and they're expected to go up on those fees. So that's why there's an increase in that one. 320, dues and memberships, no change. 334, maintenance agreements, no change in that. I think it's important to know, though, we are expecting increases in these maintenance agreements. However, we have broken away from Celebrite. By being able to do that, we are saving the county in the ballpark of $7,000. Do you want to elaborate as to exactly what that is? Here you go.
That's where we do phone extractions. So we had our own Cellbrite machine. Now we're using the East Tennessee Regional Forensic Facility at Carson Newman. We use it, Jefferson County uses it, Jefferson County PD, Marshtown PD. So now we don't have to pay those expenses ourselves. We use it at Carson Newman. And they've got a lot newer, upgraded, newest equipment there that we can use.
And the only thing that costs us in correcting the sheriff is 2 stamps. All we have to do to be able to use that, we write letters of support to basically thank the people for allowing us to use it. So again, those 2 stamps, it saves us over $7,000. Okay, so let's go on down to line 336, equipment maintenance and repair, no change. 338, vehicle maintenance and repair. We're asking for a decrease in the amount of $100, but this warrants a little more explanation. This year already, and the year's not up, this year already we have surpassed this budget amount. A little later in the presentation, the sheriff and I are going to express what we hope we can do to help remedy this. That being said, we are asking for a decrease, so as of right now, we're just looking at $100,000 for maintenance and repairs on line 338. 348, postal charges, no change. Line 349, printing, stationery, and forms. Actually, we're asking for a decrease in that line item. Couple of reasons. Now, a lot of the forms that our patrol they get through the state at no cost, and that's great. That's very helpful. But a lot of the other forms that they're required to use are now available online. So that's helped even more. Another thing that we've done, we have totally redesigned our letterhead, our envelopes, and our business cards. That has saved us money. Now, it may not be a whole lot of money, but when you compile all of that together, we're looking at saving the county about $2,500 a year. Did I mention we're working really hard on this budget? Going on down to line 351, rentals, no change. Line 353, towing, no change. Travel, which is line 355, we've actually got a decrease in that. Same with court security. We're able to do a lot of these classes, the CTAS classes, for free. Some of these classes are in Knoxville. Some of these classes are in Johnson City. So we're cutting down on travel because we don't need to do hotels. We're not paying for hotels. We're not paying for per diem to do that. And then also we are doing the online classes where we can, going through Lexipo.
I don't want to stop her when she's going, but rentals should be coming down as well. We got those T containers, storage containers. We're working now to try to get the stuff out of there. A couple of them for the jail have inmate clothing and property in, getting it swapped over to the property room so we can delete those. So some of this will be coming down as well.
And does anybody have any questions? Again, I know we're moving along. It's been kind of a long meeting already. All right, let's do line 399, which is other contracted services. We are actually asking for an increase in this because of the caseload of our detectives, which we call, of course, the CID division. Our detectives are having to rely more on different investigative tools, namely Leads Online and TransUnion. That's why we're asking for an increase in this amount of $500. I can give you an example. Well, Leads Online, every year they go up a little bit. It is what it is. With TransUnion, normally it runs us about $75 a month. Since I've been at the sheriff's office, it has been $75 every month. Over the past, I'm going to say since about November, it's averaged anywhere from $150 to $190 a month. And again, that's because our detectives are having to put more usage into this because of their caseloads.
Does everyone know what Leads Online is? That's basically a program we have. If someone pawns something, it goes into this system. So if we have model number and serial numbers, we can put it in. If somebody pawns something stolen, then we're notified.
And then, do you want to elaborate, Leads Online, or excuse me, TransUnion?
That's the portal. That's how we get a lot of information on people. So something we have to have. But the Leads Online is used by CID.
Okay, line 425, gasoline, no change. 431, law enforcement supplies. The fact that we have a new detective who is also the administrator of our sex offender registry, the fact we have a new detective, we need to get her equipped with what she needs. And also the fact that we are building up a new, way more efficient evidence room. We also need supplies for that. So in this line item, we are asking for an increase of $2,500.
What we're doing with our evidence room, it's been upstairs in the attic the whole time. Once we've got everyone out of the jail in the female section, we're taking over one of those pods and making that our new evidence room.
Okay, line 433, lubricants, no change. And I think we need to point this out also. We made a big deal when we changed to Express Lane. We started using them, Captain, last year, 2 years ago? Last year. It has saved the sheriff's office a tremendous amount of money. I don't know what the other entities throughout Hamblen County, I don't know what they use. This is not a paid advertisement for Express Lane, but I'm just telling you, it has saved us a significant amount of money.
We went with the state bid on oil changes and stuff, and I've noticed every time a car went to get an oil change, they wanted a cabin filter put in it. They wanted air filters, windshield wipers. We talked to them, told them to stop this at a certain mileage when you do this, at a certain mileage when you do that. They wouldn't stop. Every time a car come in, it had all these new stuff, so we switched to them, and it saved thousands of dollars.
We went from basically $150 every service to $37.
$37.90.
And that was shopping around, having them come to us, talking, you know, what they'll change, a Dodge Charger or a Durango, and we've got it down to that.
And also with Express Lane, that's where we do the oil changes, but there's also other things we can get through them, windshield wipers. It's unbelievable how much we can get through them for windshield wipers as opposed to some of these other places. So again, line 433, lubricants, no change. 435, office supplies, no change. 450, tires and lubes, no change. 451, uniforms, no change. 508, premiums on corporate bonds. I'm not 100% sure what that is. Can I use the word obsolete with that? Okay, so that one's obsolete. Line 524, which is in service. Again, although we do the free CTAS classes when we can and when we use the Lexipo portal, there are classes, and the sheriff can speak more to this, there are classes that our folks have to take that can't be done online or that CTAS can't cover. They're specialized classes, and these classes are not cheap. Bless you. And also, Lexipo, even that's our online portal, just like all these other places, their fees go up a little bit every year. So because of that, we're asking for an increase in this line item. This is the same line that we take the academy cost out of as well when we send folks to the academy. This year, that has increased to $4,615. Going into, bless you, going into 26, 27, I'm sure there'll be an additional increase. So for this reason, we are asking to increase this line by $2,300 or $23,000. Do you want to elaborate on what some of the classes are that our detectives?
Well, I've got some that specializes in auto theft. They've got to have certain classes. Fire investigators, got two that does mainly a lot of child sex crimes. 2 investigators. So those courses, we have to send them to where the classes are at. And that's annually or every 2-year recertification courses.
Okay, so let's go on down to line 599, other charges. There's a lot that's incorporated into this line, everything from the fees to our boat dock to tags for vehicles. This is the same line item that our DARE program comes out of. Last year, we were able to get money through the opioid abatement grant. We were also able to get a little bit of help from the school board. I don't know, we're not sure if any of that's going to be able to happen this year or not. So for the, oh, and one other thing that's new coming out of 599, where we do have our new bomb dog, Grim, this is a line that we're going to take his medication and his food out of. So we definitely need an increase in 599. We're asking for an additional $20,000. Line 709, data processing equipment, that's another one I think we can chalk it up as being obsolete. 716, law enforcement equipment, no change. And again, these are all the operational proposals for the sheriff's office. Anybody have questions?
What are y'all basing gas prices on for mileage, for the gasoline?
Well, it's, I don't know, I'd have to check with Amanda where we're at now on it. I know gas prices is high, but hopefully they'll come back down, so maybe it'll equal out.
That's what you call the power of positive thinking, right? All right, let's go on down to tab number 30. It's your 33. It's the school resource officers. This is a little bit different. In the past, with the school resource officers, all of the costs that came out of this, they were all reconciled at the end of the year. That's worked out beautifully in the past. But now, moving forward, we're going to start doing this monthly, taking out their gas, their oil changes, their regular costs like that. One of the main reasons we're going to start doing this monthly, and they have a budget now like everybody else, it's going to be way easier when it comes to doing quarterly reports to the state. That's one of the primary reasons for it. So there's not really increases or decreases, but on this chart, we just want to kind of give you a general idea of what the known factors are going into this new year with the SRO's maintenance agreement. That's their Axon, that's Mid-South Radar, Motorola, things along those lines. We're estimating that to be about $25,000. 338 maintenance and repair. All of their vehicles, aside from Paul Presley, who has their bomb dog, all of their vehicles are new. So hopefully they'll be okay and they won't need anything other than just routine maintenance. So we're thinking about $5,000. Again, we're basing that on the $37.90 oil changes.
And the reason that is, he does not have a new vehicle. That's the Russellville where we only have one school identified number, so we didn't get the money for both schools.
And he's right now, and he's using some of the older vehicle that we have on the road. Gasoline, $4.25. Now, even though the SRO's vehicles are pretty much stationary throughout the day, that really doesn't paint an accurate picture. In addition to being at school all day, they also attend school functions on the weekends. They do things at night, but where it really kicks in is in the summer. A lot of these SROs hit the road. They serve papers. They do things like that. So for that reason, we are estimating that fuel costs for the SROs should equate to about $20,000. Hopefully that will be less, Jamie. All the gas prices will come down. Uniforms, which is $451. All of the SROs, they are equipped with their uniforms, but obviously you never know when something's going to happen. It's a damage, something needs to be replaced. You never know when we may need to outfit a brand new SRO. So just as a cushion, for lack of better wording, we are looking at in their uniforms to put about $2,500 for uniform costs. 524 in service, they have an annual conference that did I miss travel? No, I did, I missed travel. I need to go back up to 355 if I may. Travel for the SROs, every year they have to attend an annual week-long training. It always happens in Pigeon Forge. Based on the last couple of years they've done this costs us around $31,000, give or take a minute or two. So, and again, that's determined, that's on the past two conferences, so we're going to set aside about $31,000 this year for their training. So let's jump back down to in-service 524, $8,000. That should cover the cost for this in-service that they're required to take. And again, in the instance that something comes up and we need to send a new SRO to a basic SRO school. So that's where that's coming in. Other, $599 other charges, $1,000. We'll set that aside for any unexpected cost. 716 law enforcement equipment. As of right now, we definitely know that we're going to purchase gun safes for all of these SROs to have in their schools. Now, as the time goes by, I'm sure there's other things. But that is a definite that we know that we're going to do going into 26, 27. Motor vehicles, don't see a need to purchase any vehicles for any of the SROs. And again, that's not increase or decrease. That's just kind of a ballpark as to what we're looking at. Yes, ma'am.
You're going to purchase a gun safe.
Yes, ma'am. I'll let you go ahead.
It's not their handgun, it's their patrol rifle.
Anybody else have questions? Okay, let's go on down to your tab 34, which is our pink tab, which is the sex offender registry. Line 309, contracts with other government agencies, no change. 317, data processing services, no change. 334, maintenance agreements, we've actually got a decrease of $200 in that. And again, we're basing that on this year's spending and also last year's spending. 355, travel. The fact that we do have a new SOR administrator, there are classes that she's going to be required to take. So we're asking to increase that line item by $1,000. Hopefully we won't use all of that, but that should be in the general ballpark. Office supplies, no change. In service, again, going back to the fact we have a new administrator, we're asking to increase that by about $200. And going back up to the travel, of course, that cost is the hotels and per diem. That's what's associated with that. 790, other equipment. Based on this year's usage as well as last year's usage, we're asking to increase that line by $250. That's all. Again, am I going fast? I know I am, but
I got
yes.
one.
Yes, Jamie.
I wasn't here last year. I was out there watching, but the SRO grant, is that a?
This is different. This is the.
Right, I meant to ask it on previous.
Yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. I'm sorry.
So we have 18 that are funded through it now. And
Yes.
5 are on our side.
Yes.
Was there ever like a daylight, a sunset clause for the SRO grant, like 5 years from now that it, I just didn't, I wasn't here last year.
Something that we've been made aware of.
I was just curious if it.
It's supposed to be an ongoing.
Okay.
Do you want to be the governor that comes in and squashes that program?
Right, that's what I wanted to make sure, okay, yeah.
And also, we're going to hopefully work with the school, because right now we're paying for 5 out of our pocket
Yeah.
because we don't qualify for those because of the school ID numbers. We don't have them. So I talked to Dr. Bunch, Mr. Bunch, a couple of times about what do we need to do for the school to get an ID number and to get the grants to cover those other 5.
Do other schools do that? I mean, are we, like, does Jeff County have their school funds are paying for SROs or
No, I'm
other
sure
counties?
They get the grant, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, why would you pay for it when you can get it?
Right.
And like I say, we're only at 5, that's $375,000. But we're hoping, and I don't know, he hasn't given me a clear answer on what they need, they'll have to do it, on what they have to do to get the school up to where they can get an ID number, which will take money off of us.
We've got the intermediate and primaries, that's got one number, so we get one person.
Anybody else have questions? Or, I'm
And
sorry.
that
go ahead.
affects us on 3 schools, Russellville, Alpha, and Manley. The other 2 is we have 2 in each high school because we've got 1,500 students per high school.
Okay, can we go on? Everybody ready? Let's go on down to your tab 35, which is the jail. Do you want to do, or you, I can still
going.
good? Okay. So 302, I'm on a roll here. So 302, which is advertising, just like with the sheriff's office, no change. Again, a lot of the things, not everything, but a lot of the things are done through social media. Line 317, data processing services. This goes back to an increase because of the fees with Microsoft 365. This, however, we are only asking for an increase of $72. 322, evaluation and testing, no change. 334, maintenance agreement. Obviously, there's going to be an increase here. We have new vendors in reference to the new detention center, namely ISOMs. So for this reason, we are asking to increase this line by $3,700. Maintenance and repair building, maintenance and repair equipment, 335 and 336, no change in either of those. In line 340, which is the medical and dental services, that kind of goes without saying. Due to an anticipated increase in the inmates, we are asking for an additional $200,000 in that line. 351, which is rentals. We need to get a new copier for the detention center. We rent those, we just don't go out and buy those. So for that reason, an anticipated increase of fees. How the copiers work, the copier at the sheriff's office, it doesn't cost as much as the copier in the jail. It's because of usage. So because of renting a new copier, because of the usage fees, we are asking to increase that $1,200. Now, kind of what the sheriff referenced earlier, at the same time, we're looking for decreases in that because hopefully within the next month or two, we'll be able to get rid of one, maybe two of the storage containers we use for the jail. All right, are we going on? 355, yes, ma'am.
Question, please.
Uh-huh.
Oh, why do y'all rent and don't buy one? Copiers.
In the long run, it's cheaper. I think Amanda can attest to that as well.
I was
It's-
just curious.
Yeah, yeah. And even goes back to if something breaks down with it, they come and fix it. And because again, it's under contract. And they even monitor the usage as far as the ink that's in it. Well, they don't use ink, they use that other stuff. But from wherever they are, if we start running low, they'll send us a new one. So that way we don't get to a point to where, oh no, we need this copier, but nobody's, ordered the supplies for
Let's
it.
go back for 1 minute and
Mhm.
let's talk
Okay.
about the medical, asking for another additional $200,000. We work weekly with the judges. If I can get someone out, get them cited out and not have to send somebody to the hospital, I work with the judges weekly on putting somebody on an ankle monitor that's got a huge medical problem to try to keep that payment down. So the additional $200,000, if we can continue that money will still be there at the end of the year. But right now, I know we've got someone that's needing, that we just got out and agreed on a ankle monitor, has got a lot of heart problems. We got a hip replacement coming up. So there's a lot of sick people in jail. We're trying to work with the judges. The judges is working with us wonderfully on trying to get these people out.
Okay, 355, travel, no change for the jail. Custodial supplies, 410, that goes without saying. We have a much larger facility. It's going to take more to keep that place clean. It's going to take more to keep the kitchen running. We're asking to increase 410 by $20,000. Line 413, which is drugs and medical supplies, no change. 422, food, surprisingly, as of right now, we don't have a change in that. And, I'm sorry.
Just real quick, I just
Okay,
want
you
to
go.
say
Yes.
that the negotiations on this has got to be remarkable. We're talking about feeding 400 people for a year for $450,000. You think about it, that's just $3 a day. That's
We've
slightly
got our
less than
meals
$3 a day.
down, Commissioner, to about $1.07 per meal. And again, I talked with our jail nurse staff. Our nurse calls in a month has went down by about 900 calls per month from the old facility to the new facility. Right now, there's nobody on antibiotics from the nasty facility that they were in. So it's dropped down to about 300 instead of about 1,200.
And I'm sorry, so were you finished with your?
Yeah, just to
Oh,
finish,
okay,
I was just-
okay.
It's just remarkable that we're doing that. I mean, you're feeding someone for $1,000 a year. You start trying to do that at your home, that's not gonna happen.
Well, one thing too, that there's been a lot of conversation with Trinity, that's who we get our food from, and we're trying to work on even additional cuts in this. Of course, we still have guidelines, nutritional guidelines that we have to adhere to when it comes to the inmates. So based on this, what we're doing, where we're at right now, that's why we're not doing any change in food. Going on down to 435, which is office supplies, no change. Prisoners' clothing, no change. A lot of that stems from the ELC grant we got right after the sheriff came in. We bought lots and lots and lots of different colors of inmate uniforms. And also, Lieutenant, I think he needs to be credited with this, Lieutenant Hart in the detention center. It goes back to the adage, it is sometimes cheaper to buy in bulk. The uniforms for the folks in the detention center, they're not specialized. So he is able to get shirts and pants and things like that. So he is able to keep them in stock at a cheaper cost. But then, of course, sadly, the turnover is not what it used to be. But sadly, when we have people that do leave for other employment, we're able to reassign those clothes. So for that reason, 441, no change. 451, uniforms. Actually, we're asking for a decrease in that of $2,000. Same thing with that. I mean, we're able to. That's actually the one I should have referenced about Lieutenant Hart buying them in stock or buying them in bulk. That's where he's able to reuse the uniforms and things for the actual jail staff.
Now, in the future, that may have to go back up. If you remember, I come to this body with a staffing analysis, and we cut 26 positions. So as the population of jail goes up, that's when, like the mayor said, I will have to come back and ask for more employees. But we've been able to save that 26 positions that we've not asked for.
So going on down to line 524, which is in service, no change. 599, other charges, no change. 710, the food service equipment, we've actually got a decrease in that line of about a $5,000 savings. The majority of the equipment we have in the new kitchen in the detention center, the majority of that's new. A lot of it is still under warranty. The fact that it is new equipment, we don't foresee any massive repairs coming down the road for that equipment. That's why we're saying a $5,000 decrease. Line 716, law enforcement equipment, we are also cutting $5,000 out of that. And as, if I've not mentioned it enough, we have worked really, really hard on making cuts where we can in this budget. Anybody have any questions about that? Yes, go ahead.
You talked about this, money saved on, equipment for the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's still under warranty.
Mm-hmm.
Why ain't never researched, have we not been in jail for months?
Well, can I go with that?
Go ahead.
Because a lot of this equipment was purchased, it's been a while back, and literally, Wayne, this equipment is set in a closet somewhere. And these vendors that we buy it from, they don't look at it as though, oh, the warranty starts once you get it in place and plug it up. The warranty starts when you pay for it. So on some of the, even though they're brand new, fresh out of the box, a lot of these, the warranty has expired on them.
We've had some of this thing since 2022.
We will argue that.
For 4 years, and we've been using it for 3 months.
Yeah. If something like that tears up, we will argue the fact that this was not put into use until March 16th.
And we have done that on occasion, but,
I look at it like this, when I go to the store and buy a refrigerator, when I get it home, my warranty starts there.
well, that's kind of the way these vendors look as well, but realistically, well, yeah, I mean, that's just like if you go buy a refrigerator, but case in point, we didn't have a brand new kitchen set up where we could actually stick it in that kitchen yet.
If it had a 3 or 4 year warranty on it, start this next week.
Well, and that's only a few of the items. That's not all of them. The majority of them are still under warranty. But as the sheriff said, and that case may never come up, but if push comes to shove and somebody says, well, hey, you bought that in 22 and the handle broke, it's not our, well, we will go to bat and see if, well, yeah, you know what, we didn't start using it until March of this year. I can't speak to that. That was before. I can't speak to that because I was not working here then, but I can only imagine. Well, I mean, think about it realistically. 3 or 4 years ago, it would have been way cheaper than it is now. I'm sorry, Kyle, did you have something?
Well, I was going to say, and I can say this from being in that industry,
yes,
okay?
definitely, yes.
Most commercial equipment has a year warranty on it. That's it. You don't get a 3-4 year warranty on anything we buy commercial. And I deal with that all the time. The benefit to us was equipment that we bought and had in storage versus what it is right now. I can tell you, 3 years ago, I could buy an upright freezer for about $900. It's about $1,800 right now. It's almost doubled in 2 years. A lot of that is because a lot of your commercial equipment, the parts, they're built in the U.S., but the parts come from overseas. And with the tariffs and everything else, a lot of our parts have doubled and tripled. The other thing is a lot of your commercial products, it's not like going and buying a refrigerator at Lowe's. It's a whole different quality.
Totally different ballgame.
And it's a whole different ballgame. So, yeah, there's a big benefit for us buying it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and storing it. Listen, I've had equipment we bought brand new that's been plugged up. I've had for 10 years in some of our restaurants, never had an issue out of it. I got some stuff that we buy now, 6 months after we got it, it's tore up.
Well, and I think
It's just like anything.
well, and thank you for adding that. And I think one thing too, with the young lady who was the previous grants coordinator, and I hope I'm not stepping out of line, I think I'm correct in this. There were a couple of the items, like the griddle, I think it was the griddle, some of those were purchased through a grant. So that would have been one of the reasons too, that we got it and it's been in storage. But the case in point, we are asking for a decrease. So whether there's a warranty or not, we're asking for a decrease of $5,000 in this line item. So a decrease. We're not asking for an increase. We're still going to go, we're asking to decrease. I'm sorry. No, this is for the kitchen. These is what we have to use to feed the inmates. It's all kitchen supplies. That's what this specific line item is. That's what it's called, food service equipment. Well, but right now we're talking about the stuff pertaining to the kitchen, not the building per se. Well, we actually already covered it. But we can go back to it later. We can, if you'd like. Other than that, does anybody else have any questions? Yes, Jamie?
The custodial?
Yes.
So is that, obviously, it's the new jail?
I'm sorry?
It's obviously the new Justice Center?
Yes, that's...
And it's the old as well?
No, there's nothing at all. No, with this is totally in the jail. This is the soap that you have to wash the inmates' clothing with. This is the soap that goes in the hand dispensers.
Okay,
These are the cleaning supplies, yeah. Yeah, this is solely in the jail. So does anybody else have any questions about that? Line 599, no changes. Again, 710, the food service equipment, we're talking about $5,000 decrease. $5,000 decrease in the law enforcement equipment and other equipment, no change at all. So again, we've worked really hard to cut these. The next ones will be really simple, which is your tab 36, the workhouse. No increases, no anything in that. Everything that comes out of the workhouse has to be determined through the finance department. So even though it falls under our heading, it's our budget, there's no increase or decrease. Same thing with your tab, let me go back. It would be 40, I can't see that far. Tab 40, of course in mine it's gray. Tab 40, which is inspections and regulations, which is civil service, no increase or decrease in that. Now the last one is tab 60, which is narcotics. And again, we're talking about just operational costs and proposals. From line 319 down to line 791, there are no increases at all. No increases and no decreases. But does anybody have any questions about narcotics, even though there's no change at all going into the new budget year? Well, again, I hope, aside from the fact I've said it 14 times, I hope you do realize that we have worked really hard on this budget. What we've talked about are the operational increases and the things that we have asked for as far as, the operational costs. The increases we have asked for are things totally out of our control, maintenance agreements and so on. Now, those are the operational costs. There are 2 additional issues that need to be discussed. Do you want this? Okay. We'll just go, I love that he trusts me. We'll just go ahead and jump into this and let's talk about vehicles. Since July 1 of, it's the next to the last page. Since July 1 of 2025, this fiscal year, we have spent in the ballpark of $1,500 on tow charges. Off the top of my head, I can remember 4, maybe 5 vehicles that we've towed because either they were abandoned somewhere out in the county or because we seized those vehicles. All those other tow charges are from towing our own vehicles.
You can tell who gets all the POs.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, July 1 of last year, this fiscal year, we have spent over $100,000 on our vehicles. Couple of reasons. We have a lot of high mileage vehicles. Another reason, and this is the word that I choose, I'm going to say that we are driving a lot of inferior vehicles. We've got a lot of older model vehicles. Now, to John and Jane Q. Public out here, they may not seem like they're older model vehicles, but when you think about what our vehicles endure, some of our cars actually go for days and days and days without stopping, and I can give you an example of that. Let's pretend like Deputy A pulls his 12-hour shift. Well, it's time for him to go home. It's time for Deputy B to start. Well, guess what? His car's in the shop. Which car is he going to drive? Deputy A's. When his shift is over, it's time for Deputy A to come back. Guess what car he's going to be in? His car, which has already pulled 24 hours. This happens sadly more often than not. I can actually attest to the fact, though, that our vehicles are taken care of as far as routine maintenance goes, oil changes, spark plugs, things like that. I keep a running chart of every bit of maintenance that's done on all of our vehicles. Now, going back to the word that I chose of inferior vehicles, when we purchased our 2021 Dodge Chargers, this was before my time, but my understanding is the reason we purchased those cars is because they were about $7,000 cheaper than the next vehicle. Proof positive that cheaper is not always better. We are drowning in maintenance costs, specifically for those cars. If you will flip on over in your handouts, I have included a couple of random maintenance records for two of the 21 Chargers. One of those, and again, this is just this budget year from July 1, we've spent almost $6,000 fixing one of those vehicles. We have spent over $9,000 on another one, and that's only 2 of the 21 Chargers. I've also put in your handout one of our 2018 Durangos. Now, I didn't just include this budget year for the Durango. I went back to January of 2025. In a little over a year's time, we have spent almost $12,000 on one vehicle. Now, in addition, and again, that's just 3 examples of what we're spending on maintenance and more so repairs on these vehicles. Now, I think we also need to note that I'm not going to say the majority, but I'm going to say a lot of the vehicles that we have on the road are over 10 years old. We also have in usage, I want to make sure I've got these right, we have a 1998 Suburban, we've got a 2006 Dodge truck, we have a 2007 Explorer, and also a 2009 Crown Vic, which right now one of our SROs is driving. We still have those vehicles in our fleet.
The 09 Crown Vic is the backup K9 vehicle. His truck's in the shop getting equipped with the cage in the back, so he's driving the 2009 Crown Vic. There's several
Sure.
2013 Explorers.
Yes.
What vehicles are you buying now? Ford Explorers?
Ford Explorers. I've talked with Captain Kimbrough, Tennessee Highway Patrol, telling him the problems we're having with the Dodge Chargers. They got away from the Dodge Chargers as well, going with the Ford Explorer Interceptors.
And when we bought vehicles for our SROs, we had no option but to get them Dodge Chargers. The hope was to get Explorers, but there was something about chips out of China, if I'm not mistaken, that just made those, they just weren't available.
And it looked a whole lot more appealing when you're buying 22 SRO vehicles, and these are $7,000 cheaper when you're buying 22. But it wasn't a good buy, in my opinion.
They're not taking the beating that a patrol officer is.
They're not.
No, not buying
They're basically sitting at the school most of the day. Summertime, like I said, they come out on patrol, work shifts. So, but during school hours, they're usually parked at the schools.
So what the discussion was between the sheriff, the chief, and the captain, and the rest of the folks, that going into 26, 27, we would like to purchase 3 new Explorers. Now, it's my fault I neglected to put the quote in your packet, but I can tell you this. It's a 2026 Explorer. The vehicle itself is $44,939. The package to equip the vehicle comes in at $14,283. The lettering as well as the tags for the vehicle, that's $502. So these vehicles are going to run $495 per vehicle.
I know
I'm sorry.
Excuse me, in my fleet with the school system, we've got like 30-some additional vehicles besides the buses. You cannot beat the Ford brand name. I'm not sitting here tooting their horn. I'm just telling you, when you run the figures against General Motors and Dodge, especially Dodge, the upkeep is a whole lot less for the Ford, and it'll last a whole lot longer. Suspensions are definitely better, so I'd ask you, in the future, I'm not going to be here, but make sure you try to get Fords.
Well, you know, as many vehicles as THP has, and that's what they're going with as well, that tells you something.
Anybody have any other questions about that? There's one other issue that needs to be addressed. I'll start with this, and then I'm going to give it to you. That, of course, is that of salaries. And I want to say, speaking for myself and everybody else, we totally, as employees, we totally appreciate what you, as the commission, did for us this year as far as the increases. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you, our people are not being compensated for what they do. Just this year, in less than a year's time, solely because of salaries, we have lost 5 seasoned employees. And I think you'll agree that was a big hit to the sheriff's office.
This is not 5 correction officers. This is 5 seasoned patrol officers. I've lost 2 to ICE. I've lost 2 to FedEx, and I've lost a 20-year employee to the district attorney's office. And the common denominator is money. I'm fixing to lose 2 more. I've got one that's got an application in with Marshtown PD, and he's going to get hired. He's going through the psychological phase. And then I've got one getting hired for THP. So I've got 7 patrol officers. I'm a training ground, is what I am.
It's hard to compete with 70,000 start out.
So we do, when we send them to the police academy, we have them to sign a 3-year thing. That if they leave within the 3 years, they have to pay us a portion of that money back. So we're trying every way, but the common denominator, why these people are leaving, and it's money. And I brought in some figures and some population status that's comparable to us of what some other departments are paying. And folks, we're about 12%, at least 12% behind. I checked with Granger County. Granger County's got a population from Google of 26,000 people. What do you think our population is? 69, 70, I think it's more, it's what it's reported. So we're getting more of the calls, more everything. And they're starting their patrol out at $20.75 an hour. Cott County, they're starting out at $22.15 an hour. Their population's 38,000. Check with Roane County, 58,000 population. They're starting their guys out at $25.35 per hour. That's what they're making now. They're in the same process we're in, guys. They're coming to ask for more money. I asked the sheriff down there, he's coming in at another 5%. I asked Sheriff Ball in Cott County, which they're making $22.15, and he's asking for a flat rate. It's in the front. I got it. Oh, no, you got it. I think he's asking for a flat starting rate of $51,000.
Having said that, our people start out, the figures he's giving you is patrol. Our people start out at $20.31 an hour, well below these folks.
And if I can add too, I mean, all of these people, all of these different counties, we're doing the exact same job, but the difference is we're covering a much larger population. Again, thank you, Google, 69,509 people. Now, granted, we've got the MPD right in the middle of it. They have their area. But realistically, the Hamblen County Sheriff's Office, we are responsible for the entire county.
It's not this body. This body has been very good to the sheriff's department. It's years past when we went 8, 9 years and didn't get a raise. This is the reason we're in the situation we're in. And I'm trying to play ball with these other departments, and I can't keep up. That's the reason I'm losing them. Yep. It all comes down to what they're making.
Your yearly salary for starting, what is that?
For a starting patrol?
Yeah.
41,000.
And so like Granger County would be what then? Or let's go Roane County, what would it be, 50? 58,000?
Right now, starting out, patrol in Roane County is $55,435 with asking for a 5% increase.
How about Cog? What's their start?
Cott County, they're starting out right now at $22.15 an hour, and their budget, the sheriff's putting in a budget to start them out at $51,000 starting out.
So that will raise that up to what?
I'd have to do the math on it. Rodney, I don't have that in front of me.
About 46,000?
You know, and this, if I may, this holds true with the detention center. Even going back to comparing it with Roane County, our COs start out making $19.25 an hour. Roane County, with a smaller population, even though they all do the exact same thing. Roane County starts out their COs making more than our patrol does, starting out, almost $5 an hour more. They start out at $24.87. And again, our COs start out at $19.25.
And I didn't go out and get prices from like tourist towns like Sevier County. It's outrageous. I mean, it's not outrageous. They're making some decent money. But I didn't pull those figures in here for us. I pulled some that was lower in population than us, and a lot more money. Yes, sir.
What was your turnover rate? Do you know that? So how many people did you actually lose last year?
I don't have that. I know just on the patrol side, and we lost one, our SOR position. She was almost a 21-year employee. She left to a new job making about $1,000 more a month. I couldn't hold her back. She didn't want to leave, but why did she leave? $12,000 raise. Why wouldn't she get it?
Well, I mean, listen, and I said this last year, and I'll say it again this year. This is something, just like with a lot of other things as commission, we inherit. Okay? Given 5% or 10% to our sheriff's department is not going to get us any better, because just like they said, every other sheriff's department is asking for 5-10%. So if we go up 5%, they're going to go up 5%. Until we make a drastic change in what we pay our officers, we're going to constantly be fighting this battle. And again, do you want the cream of the crop, the best officers coming to your door when you're in need? Or do you want the bottom of the barrel that nobody else will take? That's what we're getting because of what we're paying. We're getting the officers that can't get hired on anywhere else, so they're settling for what we're paying.
And I can promise you, our officers are very appreciative of the last 4 years, what you all have done for them.
You know, or they're coming here and they're getting the training so they can go get a better job as soon as they get their schooling paid for.
What was it? 3 or 4 years ago, we went 15%.
Yeah.
And that got us going in the right direction. We couldn't maintain that. We did pretty good there for three years.
I see that a lot of these new guys, the younger guys out of the academy, they're staying there 3 years, and then they're looking for more money.
Well, we're at the crossroads here. I think we're absolutely, I mean, I've said it before, it's embarrassing that we pay our deputies what we pay them and ask them to do. You know, I said it before, it's getting to be old, but anybody that straps a gun on their hip and goes out and stands between me and trouble has my undying loyalty. I think it's maybe one of those suck it up years where we have to hit it hard, try to get these guys back up, to put our sheriff in a better position.
Go ahead.
At 12%, do you know the total? You may not know of. If you did receive the 12%, what's the total across the board? A couple 100,000. I don't know the math on it.
I would have to do the math. I didn't have that prepared, but I don't care to do that for you.
How many total deputies do you have?
We got 103 jail staff. I'd have to do the numbers. We've got 26 patrol staff, 23 SROs. I'd have to sit down and give you the exact numbers.
180-ish.
Close.
But they're at different salary levels, so 12% would be hard to factor. We could use those numbers, and I just think we're going to have to bite the bullet again.
Well, and if I can elaborate on this, going back to what you say and what you've all mentioned, you know, there's not just anybody that can come in and work in a jail environment. There's not just anybody that you can trust to drive up and down the road and safeguard the citizens. And when we get people that come in that are well-suited and capable of doing these jobs, we got to do what we need to do to keep them. Because again, as the sheriff said, these folks are coming in, they're getting trained, they're moving on. There's a lot of the folks that work there that are working 2 and some 3 jobs.
Most of my patrol, if there is work, I've got some that works part-time on their days off at White Pine PD. I signed a form where one worked in Bean Station. I've got a lot that mows yards. All of my employees on patrol, most of them have secondary jobs. Me coming up through the ranks, I was one as well. I've never had a one job work for the Hamblen County Sheriff's Department.
Well, it's been in my adult life when
Excuse me?
It's been in my adult life, we've had deputies years ago, it's like, not now, we're receiving food stamps.
Mhm.
Just didn't pay them enough.
A lot of people spend a bunch of money to go to school, to get degrees, to be educated, to continue that career. And we have several of those in the department, and they're looking elsewhere.
I'm just trying to keep what I've got.
I agree 100%.
But we also have to look at the cost. When we talk about the cost, and I looked at some of this, if we went across the board and did, and y'all are all fixing to look at me and throw rocks, a $3 raise to every one of our officers, okay? That puts us up above everybody around us. But what we also have to look at is not only the cost for the officers, look at the cost of our training, because every officer that Chad brings in that we lose, we're also losing that investment of what we paid to train them. The benefit to them and another department to hire them at more money is they don't have to pay for their training. It's already done. They don't have to pay for the schooling. It's already paid for. We've got to make a drastic increase. And yeah, we're going to talk about, I think I figured it out at $3, you're talking about almost $1 million a year. Okay? But again, would you pay $100 more on your taxes to have the best of the best?
The state got a huge raise. I know the county cannot compete with THP or TBI. I just want to be competitive with the surrounding counties around me.
Sheriff, I appreciate you coming and presenting your budget to us. I know there'll be a time when we can address these salaries that we'll have to address. I don't think we can accomplish anything tonight addressing it, but I do appreciate everything, and I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I want to make sure that this department is top-notch, and we'll address the salaries when we do all the other salaries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Y'all done a great job. Mr. Chairman, I think that's it for the budget committee.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everyone's attendance here tonight. We've got a lot of information to take, to digest, and we'll be back in here Friday morning at 9 o'clock. I meant, what'd I say? Friday? Saturday at 9 o'clock right here. Lunch will be served.
Yes.
We stand adjourned.